back, nobles. Weapons are online as we get back into the X Company campaign. Now, we've got another mission lined up for today, but before I touch on it, let me just quickly talk about consequences of last mission. Did pretty cool in that, but we took some damage, most of which we were able to fix, but unfortunately, we did have one little bit of damage that we can't really handle well. So one of the crits that Sassy took on her Wolverine was a hit to the shoulder. Unfortunately, a shoulder damage cannot be repaired. It means that the arm is busted and will be busted forever. So all you can do is scrap that sucker and replace it. It's going to take us a couple days to get a replacement in. Luckily, the left arm isn't holding any weapons. It's just a punching arm. So I figure we just armor it back up. We can send her out into a fight with a busted, useless arm, but it doesn't matter. I mean, worst that's going to happen is that it'll blow off, and that'll just save us on having to scrap the sucker and replace it. So we've got the new one on the way. It'll be here in 3 days, if I'm remembering correctly. And at that point, we'll be able to repair it. But, we didn't get through that completely unscathed. That's some lasting damage to deal with. Otherwise, excellent work by our repair team, who has not gotten much screen time, because that screen time is really boring and takes a long time to document, so just trust me that I'm doing it right. In any case, the exciting stuff... exciting. That's pretty generous. The exciting stuff is happening over here. We have a Recon Raid. Recon Raid by Firebrand Lance, our recently put together, pretty much made up of everything left over Lance. This is the one that we got sniped on earlier, and there are some things that are kind of working against us on this one. First off, our allies sent us frickin' light mechs again. One of them with a garbage pilot, the other one pretty average. I mean, he shoots okay, but unfortunately, he has some severe driving problems. The Draconis, however, are sending in mostly tanks, but these are some pretty... well, they're medium-sized tanks, but don't let that fool you. They're pretty heavily armored and have some long-range weaponry and some short-range weaponry that could be potentially devastating if we get too complacent about them. We do have light mechs on our team, especially the light mech that is our own light mech, Corporal Katie Tripp, Icicle, who's piloting a Wasp still. One of the last 20-ton mechs that we have that hasn't exploded. We've been doing really bad about that. However, we have learned from our mistakes last time, and there are some things that I'm planning on doing. First of which being, let's see if we can't get some reinforcements on this one. Central did not deploy this week, and that means that they can potentially reinforce. So we just have to rely on the die. So we show the tools dialog on a roll of 6, since they're in fight stance, fight roll. They need to roll a 6 to show up. Not, it's a 1 in 6 chance. Let's see. No. Okay, so they couldn't make it in time. Not surprising, wasn't really counting on it. The thing I am kind of counting on more, Full Moon Night. Full Moon Night isn't as bad as a Pitch Black or No Moon Night, like the one that we were fighting on, but it's still not great. It gives some significant penalties to shooting and movement, and while that could work in our favor if we were just trying to scoot past, because I think we'll be more mobile than... all of these are tracked units. Well, except for the 2 hover tanks, but those are coming in on reinforcements. Actually, the Full Moon Night might work to our advantage. Full Moon is going to be a pain for moving and shooting, but... well, okay, actually, the shooting is an important part. We don't have anyone particularly super trained on this Lance. I mean, Shayla Salami, we've got Sergeant Barati Ruma, who's our best pilot. She is a veteran that has Gunnery 3, but her mech that she has to use it on is kind of so-so. Mostly just, I don't like the Dervish because I've said this before, but it's just a big chunk of dynamite that they stuffed in the sides of it waiting to cook your pilot. Corporal Katie Tripp is an okay pilot. The Lieutenant, Sheila Salami, is an okay pilot. Uh, but Private Pia Croce here is a complete nub, and it's unfortunate because that means that we're not going to get much service out of her mech. Given the penalties that we're looking at for trying to deal with this, I'd really prefer that it not be pitch black, or not be at night. But what if that rolls for full night? Well, if it does, then that'll be a funny story. Let's see what happens. Dusk Dawn. I can accept Dusk Dawn. Dusk Dawn won't mess with my movement, and it will give me some minor penalties to shoot, but we can overcome those penalties much better than we could the ones for a moonlit night. So, with that in mind, general plan for this one, since the enemies are largely slow vehicles, the Bulldog, if I remember correctly, has like movement 4, maybe 5, but I think 4. Hetzer definitely 4. And the Scorpion light tanks are faster, but they're coming in as reinforcements. What we can kind of do is do what we should have done last time. Pick a side and actually march up it as a coordinated unit. Most of our mechs have decent speed. The Dervish definitely does. The Wasp does. The let's see here, Dervish, yeah, 585. Wolverine, 585. The Wasp is actually trucking along at 6. The only slowpoke is the Lieutenant and her Crusader, but her Crusader's a heavy mech, and it still moves at 4, which is a pretty good clip for a heavy mech, and that means that she's bringing the actual punch. We'll pick a side, work our way up it, let the enemy try to intercept us as we go. Instead of sending the light mech out on a solo mission, we'll move up with it. We'll take shots as we can against the tanks as we move, try to hit side shots and try to knock them out. I don't want to get too cocky about engaging with this light mech because there is an AC-20 out there on that Hetzer. But once I manage to knock out that Hetzer, the rest of the armament on the Bulldogs aren't particularly intense. They've got a pair of AC2s on this one. If I remember correctly, the LRM is packing like what? LRM 15? No, an LRM 20, two SRM 4s, so this could ruin a light mech's day. Don't want to get cocky about those. And if I remember correctly, yeah, those are all on a turret, so it can point those at any direction that it likes. So once we kind of knock these out, we can have the light mech help more, but until then, we really need to focus on keeping the light mech moving real fast, uh, trying to get side shots where we can, tracking these guys and leaving them out on the field, because if we manage to knock these guys out, we should be able to build up a fair amount of salvage percentage by just leaving them for our allies so that we can claim whatever's coming next. Because I got to tell you, we had a kind of slow start during some of the last months, but I think the Draconis are really making their resurgence now. Uh, I mean, yesterday alone, they managed to try an encirclement, and the fact that we pounded through it was just because Big Sky Lance is full of bosses. And so now we need to figure out what the hell they're doing by conducting a recon raid, figuring out what they're up to, and then trying to report back on that. So let's get on the ground. Let's stick together. Let's pound the enemy as they come to us. Take advantage of our mild range advantage with some of our mechs, but we're mostly still medium. But take advantage of what range we have to knock out some of the most dangerous mechs or the most dangerous weapons they have. And from there, kind of take on the reinforcements as they come. They're much lighter mechs, so we should be able to swat them with relatively little problem. Let's get down there. Oh, hopefully I've still got the bings adjusted right. I think I do. Yeah, totally do. Totally do. I checked tape on the last one. Bing sounded good, everything's set up the same. So if you're being deafened by bings, it's not my goddamn fault. I tried. Ugh. Okay. Yep, Hetzer's packing an AC-20. Bulldog LRMs are packing an LRM-20 and two SRM-6s, as well as a front-mounted machine gun. The AC2 is packing those two LRM5s SRM4s on the side and a pair of AC2s, so it has some extreme range, but not a heck of a lot of damage at that range. These bulldogs are all very long range support. In fact, I was talking about leaving them behind, but if we can actually tread one of these guys, I know I've been pretty much taking these vehicles home, saying, oh boy, now I'm going to actually include something in my group, and then I'm fucking sell them to buy more mechs. But it's not my fault. I can't get any vehicle crews. They just won't show up. Anyway, after that, Scorpions come in. The Scorpion light tanks, if I remember correctly, are just packing an AC5. I think this one's got a pair of SRM6s. Let's double check that. Yeah, pair of SRM6s. I mean, heck, if you look at it, you can see it. Look at how much detail there is on these little things. You can see that this has got two SRM6s and a little bitty machine gun, and this guy's got an AC5. You can tell because it's just a little wider than this guy, but a bit thinner than this fat AC20. This guy, you can tell that he's packing two SRM6s because you can count the little tiny dots and see, oh, he's got 12 little holes in there. And this scimitar is packing an AC20 that's, well, I guess a little scrawnier than this guy's AC20, but that's because this guy is based on the German Hetzer. In fact, it's just called a Hetzer. It's, I guess not really based so much as completely ripped off. But anyway, biggest problems to worry about on this one. We have that same problem that if two of our guys die, we're out. And we do have two light mechs again. They are going to run off and do whatever the fuck they want and generally be a pain in my ass because I have to go save them. If they decide to go face tank this Hetzer, I might be fucked just from the start. I can't sugarcoat that much. If they run up on these bulldogs, they might have a better chance, apart from those SRM4s ruining their day, but they might have a slightly better chance, So we kind of need to, honestly, as much as I want to stick to the side and help out, we may just kind of have to stick to these guys and make sure that they don't get their asses creamed and give me another fucking complaint from Lyran Command about how poorly their troops are trained. That's just how I translate it now. They send me a complaint, I'm like, well, you're complaining that your guys fucking suck. I am sorry your guys fucking suck. Ooh. Now, this is not ideal. Well, it was coastal, I knew that, but okay, well, let's look what we got here. So we have to get units to the other side of this map and sit on the side just like last time. Last time that got us in real trouble because just about the time we managed to get to the other side, motherfuckers ambushed us with their reinforcements and tore our light mech to pieces. That was really fucking dumb. Speaking of really fucking dumb, why are these guys all facing the wrong way? Well, that won't matter after the first turn. This guy's done a kind of weird thing because he sort of stranded himself out in the middle of no cover on this peninsula. So I don't really know what he's thinking there. What do you think's going on in that guy's head? I mean, there's a couple guys in there. But Gunder Camphilo, I guess, is the commander. Anyway, point is, we've got some water to traverse, and as you saw on that match that we had a couple days ago, yeah, last week I want to say, the one where the enemy sent a push and we just completely fucked it with all of our entire company coming to kick them in the ass. Water can really badly slow you down. So getting across this is going to be a pain in the ass. Now, fortunately, it's level 1, or level -1 to depth 1, level -1, so it's not impossible to traverse. And in fact, it looks like most of this is crossable. This would be very difficult to get up, though. Also, another problem is we don't have as great pilots this time around. We had some good pilots last one, so for our water crossings, we didn't even have to roll for slipping on a river rock and falling over. Now we do. For this, we'll probably have to leverage our jump jet guys to actually complete the objective. I don't want to fuck about with that water too much. But in any case, first thing that I need to deploy is unfortunately my Wasp, but I figure I'll just deploy over here in this heavy cover, and that'll keep me mostly out of the enemy's clutches to start with. And then I can just run to wherever I'm needed. Probably needed more over here than over there, so just turn the face that way and we'll call it good. Need to deploy my Dervish. Dervish is, it's a medium mech. It's got a fair amount of my armor and ammo, and it has got my best pilot in this particular lance in it. So as much as it kind of irks me, I'm gonna put her front and center, good old Genie, and hope that she can do some good work for me, tearing these guys a new a-hole. In fact, better position might be just here, because then we can kind of move her up into cover, and she can go 1, 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, running into cover, but that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes moved. That's -1 in cover, -1. Um, Although honestly, just moving an extra hex rather than that, if we can move 5 hexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is just as good, but that would put us closer. I think over here, try to aim for those trees. In fact, could do it by getting some real number crunching now. 1, turn 2, 3, 4, turn 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 run. We are running into there. We're moving 5 hexes, so that's going to be +3 to hit us. That seems like a pretty good deal to me. So we'll do that. Our Wolverine with our Rook in it. Now, our Rook might suck at shooting, but her mech is pretty good at taking damage. Wolverines are heavily armored mediums, so put her kind of front and center so that we can make the enemies pay attention to her. Oh, right. One thing I had forgotten about, because we are in a scout lance, these guys kind of ranged ahead, and our actual commander, our lance leader, is 1 turn behind in her slightly slower mech, so we gotta wait for her to catch up. So, unfortunately, it looks like I've got to make the first move with my nub here. Not super a fan of that because of this Hetzer, but in general what I can assume, the Hetzer is going to have to roll over here. So probably somewhere over here is where its movement will end. So if I stay 1, 2, 3, around here or around here, the Hetzer won't be able to get a good shot on me. The most important thing I can do, though, is just kind of move and move fast. So if I move like here, that would be at medium, but not great. So if I kind of turn a little bit, head this way, he should still be at short range for my large laser when I torso twist, but it'll have a difficult time putting me at his short range. So we'll kind of air over on this side. Okay, Hetzer still hasn't moved, but here's where we execute the plan that we figured out during deployment. Our allies are just moving straight up. Hopefully the Bulldog doesn't get any excellent hits. That Dervish rolled really well, unfortunately, so I'm a little skittish about where I'm moving my light. But I think I'll just move up behind this friendly Javelin. At the very least, move as fast as I can, make myself a harder target. Yeah, it looks like he's decided to go for our light mechs over here, but I ran for mod 2, he ran for mod 3. Shit, I'm gonna be easier to hit, but he's 1, 2, 3, I'm a medium. That may not have been a good move. I needed to think that one out a little bit more. But he flanked for that, so he's at penalties to shoot also. So hopefully that's not a great shot that he's got. I must have seen something wrong. Oh, right, because he was going to move, duh. Well, okay, he's still at medium range, which means that we still have very piss shots to hit him because we fucking suck. Sorry, Dagger, but you need training. You showed up and you just kind of lied on your resume about how much experience you had. Arcades don't count. But we'll go ahead and use what heat we've got for any shots that'll actually hit. and see if we can't hit this Hetzer kind of on its side arc. Over here, can't see him, right, because he's a level low. Aha! I think he might have fucked himself over, come to think of it, because he can't get line of sight to me because there's a hill in his way. Ha ha ha. He might have just screwed himself. I'm okay with that. You can screw whoever you want as long as they agreed, and you agreed to be screwed. That said, I do need to pick a target, and I've got side shots on this bulldog, so let's just use a fair amount of heat to wing off a pair of medium lasers. Oh, wait, actually, better. We got solid LRM-10s on this guy. Let's wing those. And do I want to try an SRM-2? Not really. Could build up to 3 for a kind of possible medium laser. I am better at gunning with those medium lasers. But that would be putting me 3 over for a not terribly likely shot. I think I'll just stick with the LRMs for right now. Over here, we've actually got, yeah, see, fuck you. Now this guy's still got his LRMs and he didn't move very far, so he's, oh wait, no, he just flanked one. That means that he moved far, just didn't get much for it. And we may as well take our laser shot. There's no reason not to. Zap. So let's see what we got. Wolverine, zapped at, we zapped at the Hetzer, but missed. Wasn't likely to. Friendly Firestarter taking zaps at the Bulldog. Wasn't likely to hit. Bulldog with the AC2 taking shots at our Dervish with our noob. Or no, wait, no, Dervish with Genie. Wasn't likely to hit, so didn't. LRM-20 misses. Wasn't likely to hit. We've got some good LRMs on that Bulldog, and excellent, excellent work. Both hit. We got 6 missiles in and 6 missiles in. Motive system damage. Critical hit on right side, put for no effect. Critical hit, we stun the crew, and critical hit through the armor. We tracked them. They are immobile. That's one of them Bulldogs taken out immediately. Friendly Javelin fires 2 SRM-6s, misses, miss. Whatever. Excellent work, Genie. I'm going ahead and writing you down for a immobilized Bulldog, so that we do not forget at the end of this mission that you were responsible for tracking it and giving us actually one of the Bulldogs that I wanted to take intact. Fantastic work. Just really cannot praise that enough. Oh, and deployment coming in. So she is just pile driving onto this map because she's emerging several hexes in. I need her to start rushing ASAP up on this Hetzer so that she can engage it. So let's deploy there. Quick check of my... I got complacent about how much I was getting off of my commanders. Yeah, it looks like we're not doing so hot on initiative rolls this time. We have to move all our mechs before the enemies have to move any of their vehicles. That's pretty gross, not gonna lie. It means that we don't have a lot of opportunity to respond to where they're going to be. Best options we have then are just kind of to keep away from that Hetzer with everyone who's kind of sensitive to damage, and then charge this Crusader right up on him and hope that he takes the bait. Because the Crusader can actually take a shot like that. So with that in mind, let's just kind of swing out here. Move to the side. I don't think anything can move enough to get a rear flank on me. And worst case scenario, I can just torso twist. So I think just move over here, keep moving fast. Let's see here. Try to keep moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 squares each turn for that -2. But for this one, I'm going to turn a bit so that I'm in a good position to move on a next turn. As long as I'm running. And here, Crusader, charge right up on him. Now we don't want to get into a position where he can easily flank us, but on the other hand, so he's got what? Movement 4. He can rush for 6. So he could turn. It's going to take him 2 to move up this turn, 4, 5, 6. He could hit our rear armor on that move. If we stood right there, he could do it. If we stand right next to him, he can kind of do it regardless, I think. Now, it kind of sucks, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get into any other position to see him if I don't do that. But best I can do is kind of rush up here and hope that he takes the bait. Opts to close in. Do I really want to run? Yeah, I want to run. Oh, come on, please. Please don't face tank the AC-20, you moron. Okay. Over here, nope, do not want the Wasp that way. Prefer the Wasp more over here, in fact. You've got jump jets, right? You've got, what, a jump of 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think instead, we're just going to kind of jump you into these trees. And then we'll see what shots you've got. Probably not anything great, but if that Hetzer comes up to take the bait... So that Bulldog is abandoned. That Hetzer stood still because of course it did, because it was presented with a gift-wrapped light mech, you Lyran fuckwits. Oh god, all we can do is hope that he misses. We've got flanks on this Hetzer with anything that we've got on our arms, but that's just like 2 weapons. And not great hits. Alternatively, we've got pretty decent shots at this Bulldog, or this Bulldog. What do we have laser-wise? Nothing super great. I'd say, once again, let's take some shots. This is going to be closer to its front arc, but might count as front side. Might be able to track this as well. But let's see if we can't knock out... To tell you what, I'm a little more scared of that AC-20, or that LRM-20, than I am of the pair of AC-2s. So I'm going to focus on that instead, since it's all the same number. Fire 2 of those downrange, and hope for the best. Over here, we're pretty much going to be taking a similar tack. Whoa, hang on, stop firing shit. Oh, right, twist is over here. By twisting a little and getting a large laser, we'd have a good large laser on this thing's side, but it's an unlikely shot in either case, so let's just multiply our chances of hitting on the side, maybe stripping some armor, then maybe getting something through. Alternatively, though, we could just get a lot of shots that are never going to hit on it, so yeah, just make that happen. Over here, unfortunately, we can't see that Hetzer because our ally gift-wrapped himself for it. So instead, we can try to put some shots downrange on this Bulldog that we actually have right in the perfect band. I didn't even plan that, but I couldn't plan that because, you know, he was moving after us. But we'll take the shots that we're given. Those are some excellent LRM shots to take. Now, we don't have a lot of heat sinking on this Crusader, so the 2 LRMs are about all we can do without overheating ourselves, but that should hopefully proc some hits. Please miss the fire starter. That's all you have to do, Hetzer, just to make my day. Miss the fire starter. Over here, I don't think that we're going to have anything in range. Nope, just out of range, but I was planning on burying him because I thought the Hetzer would come up and then go, ooh, light mech, and then pop him. And then the light mech came to him. So whatever. Here we go. Our Dervish fires LRM-2s, or LRM-10s. Missed the first one, but the second one does hit, and damages his track a little, but nothing that's going to cause any problems. +1 to driving skill rolls only matters when there's like rainy conditions that would proc that. So, instead, our Wolverine misses. I mean, that's expected. She still hasn't figured out how targeting works. We do have our Crusader with, what was her name? Happy. Happy in the Crusader. Manages to land both of her, or one of her missiles on there, but 9 of them. A pop on the front armor. It causes a little bit of minor damage to motive system, and a pop on the turret manages to knock out one of its SRM-4s. Works for me. That works for me. Firestarter is just giving it to that Hetzer as his possibly last act on this earth. zapping it in the side, zapping it in the side, machine gunning it inside, machine gunning it in the side. Well, at the very least, after machine gunning it in the side several times, he manages to fire a flamethrower at it that gets down into the engine compartment, destroys it, and immobilizes it. So that Hetzer's not going to be a problem. Now, whether we still have a fire starter left after that, who knows? Bulldog medium tank takes some more shots at our noob Wolverine that we kind of moved up to be a bit of bait for that, and ooh, gets a perfect roll of clusters on the with a LRM 20 damage taken. She might be falling over because she's not that great a pilot, and takes damage to right torso, center torso, and left leg. Just an excellent spread. What a great guy. Oh god, that Hetzer did manage to land his shot. He just needed a 7. You dumb fire starter. Hits him in the leg, destroys his leg. He's knocked out from under him. All right. So good news. Good news. The mech is not lost yet. It's still a recoverable mech. It's still there. If we can knock out 50% of the enemy forces and complete our mission, we own this battlefield, we can recover the mech, send it back to its Steiner masters with a sticky note that says, you are gay, and please request that they not send any more lights up into AC-20 fire. But this is still recoverable. This is still... and then the Bulldog is laying into that fire starter as well. AC2's over him, AC2 over him, SRM4 over him, SRM4 misses. Javelin misses entirely. What a fucking shit shot. Fortunately, our guy, Dagger, manages to keep her feet despite being not that great a pilot, but at least she figured out how to stand up. The fire starter is not so lucky because he's missing a leg, so even though he's a better pilot, he falls on his ass. He manages to stay conscious, but hopefully that staying conscious is mostly him just ejecting from that mech. Although that fucking sucks, because that is one more problem. If we lose both of these assholes, we have to retreat. Please, please, Lyrans, just learn, for fuck's sake. Alright, we've got a slightly better spread on our initiative this time. What's not great is our Crusader has to go first, but, you know, at least the Hetzer will be abandoned by then. Alright, so the Hetzer's abandoned. Excellent. The Firestarter's prone. Who knows? Maybe he'll be an idiot. He does have both of his arms left. Maybe he thinks he can stand up. Maybe he'll try to stand up over and over again and knock himself unconscious and then still technically be on the field. This is the best that we are hoping for. This is actually what we are hoping. We are hoping that an allied pilot will compound stupidity with stupidity and remain on the field despite the fact that he's missing a goddamn leg. I'm never taking another fucking one of these commands again. It's just fucking a pain in my ass. Alright, unfortunately, in order to be able to get to anything, I kind of have to take a small detour around this central choke point, which is going to slow me down. And I really don't see any faster way to get there than what's being plotted out. So that's pretty much the only good move we can have, and hope that the Bulldogs keep moving up on us, but they don't have any good reason to. Speaking of, the AC-2 and the LRM are both shorter range, or both longer ranged weapons that are bad at short range because of minimum range distances. If we creep up on this Bulldog specifically, it lost one of its SRM4s, which is a lot of its short range punch. We should be able to either force it to kind of, well, it'll roll backwards, unfortunately. So best we can kind of do is roll up hot on it and see if it responds. We're not going to be able to kick it like this because we're actually on a lower level than it, but we'll see if we can kind of spook him. Well, we spooked him under us. That's a unique position. However, works for me, kinda, because that does mean that I can then get this dervish right on top of him. This wasp should pretty much be coming around the side here. In fact, should be kind of coming around the side here. Ducking down a bit to get some cover for its sensitive legs from the shots that could be taken by the Bulldog. Well, hey, you know what I was saying about idiocy compounding idiocy? Guess who's still on the field? This dumb fucking fire starter did not move. He's like, I can be good. I still got one leg, guys. I can fight. And Lenny is going to fucking show us all how good he is at piloting a one-legged mech. Idiocy compounded with idiocy, and it worked in our favor. This is this is the happiest day of my life. Unfortunately, we don't have any good shots on this bulldog. Best we can probably hope for are these 8s and doing 2 more of our LRM-15s. Although that said, the Crusader is a very nasty mech at short range for doing punches, but its one big problem is it just does not have enough heat sink for all the weapons that it's packing. That means it can run hot when it's in good alpha range, but right now it's not. Uh, so probably take it a little easy this turn. Just roll up 9. And are we in with the? No, absolutely not. So just roll up 9 heat, get myself night and heat depleted for next turn, when I should be able to roll up on this guy, and if he's still alive, and lay some real hurt on him. Meanwhile, here, we actually cannot target this guy beneath us. He's under our legs and just being a problem. At least I think. I'm pretty sure that we can't. Yeah, only infantry weapons shoot at 0 range. And however, we weren't likely to hit anything anyway. Joke's on him. So instead, we can take a bunch of unlikely shots and fire 2 medium lasers and an SRM-6 over at this guy over here. So let's do that. None of these are going to hit, but then, if you fire a lot of them, maybe a lot of none of them will hit. Over here, however, we've got a much better chance. We can actually stack up a bunch of shots on this guy. Probably just do the standard issue medium laser, SRM-2, SRM-2 for crit seeking, and those all have pretty good chances to hit. So we can potentially see some good shots this turn. Over here, we can't see that guy, and we can't see that guy, and why are our SRM-2s mounting on our legs? That's just fucking bizarre. But, alright, the only guy that can really target us is this guy with the LRMs over here, and hopefully we moved enough to discourage that. So let's see how he fires. Okay, our Crusader fires that LRM-15, doesn't hit, unfortunate, but we were going for a heat eco round. Our Wolverine doesn't hit with any of its lots of shots, that wasn't entirely unexpected. The Bulldog is picking on that downed fire starter. Hopefully he is still adamant about being here, but his armor is getting stripped off because he's laying in the fucking dirt like a moron. Bulldog manages to go up against our Wolverine and fires everything, but misses everything, oddly enough. Some of those had some pretty good shots. Meanwhile, our Dervish, Genie, shows off that she can land a shitload of hits. Strips some armor from the left side, strips some armor from the front, misses with an SRM-2, does 2 procs, but unfortunately can't get any crits. But that's okay, we stripped that Bulldog of a fair amount of armor. Not bad for a turn. The Firestarter's still taking shots at that Bulldog. And the Javelin, the allied Javelin, who thus far has not earned my ire for being a dumbass, actually manages to land one of his SRM-6s, and the crit procking maniac that it is, manages to severely nuke this guy's move speed by sorta tracking him, and get a critical hit on the turret, which destroys its stabilizer, which I think is going to make it so that it has more difficult shots. Can't remember what a stabilizer does. In any case, we are rolling up on these vehicles pretty well. Now, my Wolverine could take a stomp on this guy, but let's be honest, she'll fall on her ass. There is no way she wouldn't. It's just too obvious. Sorry, I do not trust you to make that kick, and you can't punch a guy that's underneath you. Can you do, like, anything crazy? No? Yeah, no. So just take it cool, take it easy. Crusader has to move after the AC-2, so we get to see that one's move first, and I think that's the one that's currently squatting under us. We'll have to move 2, and then the Bulldog with the LRM comes in. It's round 4. So we still got 2 more turns before reinforcements come in. So we should be able, hopefully, we should be able to clean up these tanks before then. So let's see what happens. LRM-2 is severely has been partially tracked, so its movement is fugged. That means that we can move up on him and actually get our medium lasers kind of into the fight. I mean, not it's medium range. It's the best we're gonna get. This our nub Wolverine. How do I want to handle that? I want to keep her moving so that she's kind of hard to hit. But if I move her over here, she's revealing her back to this bulldog. If I move her over here, she's revealing herself to the LRM-20. She can probably take those LRM-20s better than anything else. So, thing to do might actually be just kind of scoot, yeah, like over here. And then I've moved a fair amount, and I'm not at back armor to anyone. That so apparently that one decided to stay still. Okay, idiocy compounding idiocy. This guy's like, wait, I can get up. Oh, I need to get over it. The fight. Get into the fight. Oh shit. I can get up again. Oh shit. Knocks himself on the head and passes the fuck out. So I'm gonna let him have a nap. Unlike last time, hopefully. Well, okay, we do have one slight problem in that the LRM can now kind of tear him apart. But then again, the LRM also has to pick between that and the juicy target of this. Well, this javelin actually moved into hard for him to shoot with the LRM range. So, he's got lots of juicy targets to pick from. We'll see if that fire starter's still alive at the next turn. In the meantime, I feel a little bold. By moving the Wasp up here, I'm still moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I could also jump jet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get it right up next to him. Put the big penalty on him. Puts a penalty on me, but yeah, I think we'll go ahead and jump in. Turn to be purely facing this guy. All shots straight up. His weapons aren't super dangerous at this point because his AC2s will have difficulty hitting, and he's not got one of his SRM4s knocked out. The biggest danger is going to come from this bulldog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We would be in the sweet spot for its LRM 20. Don't like that. Don't like that. Alternative plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes moved is the same penalty. So yeah, we'll do that. Over here, this dervish, I want to be the target of shots because she can take it. So I'm actually going to just kind of slowly cruise her up so that she's in kicking range on this bulldog if it manages to survive some severe SRM raking. Yeah. I can do it, guys. I can do it. I'll be right there. Oh. What a fucking idiot. But at least he's an idiot in ways that favor me. That's all I can really hope for from these Steiners. Crusader has shots here, shots there, shots everywhere. But in order to save on heat, let's go ahead and say I'm going to do medium laser, and what the hell, an SRM6. If it lands, it will potentially do a lot of crit procking. So we'll do that. Wolverine over here gets the pick of targets. Ooh, 9s to hit. That's some of the best I've ever seen. And in fact, 9s over here, or 9s over here. Tell you what, we've got a lot of people who will be able to focus on this bulldog. This is your time to shine. See if you can't take this guy out by hitting him on his side with a full volley of medium, and SRM6. If you land that SRM6, you've got a good chance of tracking him. So, get at it there, Dagger. Go join the big girls club. Actually take down an enemy. Meanwhile over here, getting my Wasp into action. And over here getting my Dervish into action with a medium laser, and an SRM2 and an SRM2. That puts me at 3 over, which is acceptable. And good shots to hit. Fives and fours, if I was seeing correctly. So let's see how that turns out. Bulldog targets my Wolverine, misses with AC2s, misses with its machine guns, lands its SRM4, but that's just going to do some pop damage all around. That's fine. My Crusader misses all of her shots. Way to go, Happy. You need to dial it in a little bit. You're not rolling so hot. Aha! Actually landing a shot. Dagger the Rook manages to get a hit on the right side of this Bulldog and does -1 to its movement, which is going to slow it down a little. No immobilized, but hey, you can't always get everything. Bulldog fires LRM-20. Was almost guaranteed to hit that fire starter, but what a lucky son of a bitch. It was aiming at him, dialing in the missiles, assuming that he'd be like shakily standing. Did not anticipate that he would see a big mech-sized quarter try to go for it and go and knock himself on the head and pass out. So those missiles sailed just over him, impacted the ground behind him, and then his buddy, taking advantage of that distraction, manages to pepper him in the side with a lot of SRM, looking for crit procs, manages to find it, busts its engine, vehicle immobile, or busts its track, vehicle immobile. They're going to have to bail out of it, and we've got another intact Bulldog we can take home. Fantastic work. Now, we missed the Wasp shots. We've still got this AC2 guy who's alive, but our Dervish is up next. Manages to laser, take off some armor, laser, take off some armor. SRM's 2, only 1 missile hit, but that's a coin flip. Some damage to the turret. Oh, and did damage its movement system. It took a half, and now it's -1 more. So it can't have a lot of movement left. It may be down to just 1, and on top of that, it's stunned. So the enemy is only going to have, it's not going to shoot next turn. They will not be able to shoot. Fantastic work. This guy's immobilized. This guy's stunned for 2 turns, apparently. He's down to movement 2. And guess what? We get to kick him. Boop. Crunch. -1 movement. He is down to 1 move. Ha 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 ha. You are officially slower than a urban mech. I hope you feel good about yourself. Excellent work. Excellent work there, Genie. You're really showing off what that mech can do, despite the fact that it's a fucking powder keg. Now, unfortunately, that those two are going to be able to move after everyone but my noob. But that's not so bad. It's not so bad, because I know that this guy is going to bail out. This guy is probably going to try to run away, which means if I move to this position, I should be able to see nearly everywhere that he could run away. So we'll just take the top of this, or get down into this little area, and hopefully be able to target him wherever the hell he goes. In fact, I don't really even need to get into that area. I could take this hill and have good line of sight of him wherever he goes. Dervish over here, he can only move 1 hex. And I think he could only move this 1 hex forward if he was going to move... Well, he can move 2 hexes. He can. So if he turns and moves anywhere, he's going to go to one of these hexes. If he putters forward 2, not a lot I can do about that. But what I can just do in general, move on top of him and point this way. And unless he stays still, I get to shoot at him. If he does stay still, I get to step on him. Win-win. Javelin jet jumps over here, not knowing that this Bulldog's going to be ejected next turn. My Wasp, I still don't want to expose it to too much damage. So going to kind of do a jank around. In fact, why not jank like so, and actually be within kicking range, potentially. The Bulldog decides to stay still. He moved 1, which... No, wait. Yeah, he did not move. He's going to accept his fate. which means that we can just kind of walk up to him, front and center, and hail fire on him at point blank range and maybe score some hits. So over here, SRM6s are the way to go for killing tanks. So we're going to fire those. I may take it a little light on the firing, just because this guy is in poor straits. If I can just crit kill him by tracking him, that's another mostly intact tank. All of these tanks so far have been destroyed, not by their core being destroyed, which removes them permanently, but by damage to their track system and engines, which can be repaired. So they're still worth something. So stick to lighter damage weapons. Just look for crit procs, like these machine guns. Machine guns, no heat, one of their few benefits. Downside to it, you are carrying around a shitload of explosives in your mech. Very beneficial if you run into infantry. You won't run into infantry. Can't hit him here, but that's fine. We're going to step on him if he manages to survive. That's the backup. We're going to take a light touch on shooting him, but if he survives, we've got two people who can kick him dependably, one that can kick him okay, but he didn't move, so maybe that's an alright shot. So we'll just stick to the SRM2s, just going for crit procking. And over here, we'll just stick to the SRM6 for same, and see how that turns out. So, we strip off some of its left side, stun the crew, strip off some of its right side, minor damage. That's all with the Crusader. One SRM6 hit, the other one missed. Come on, that wasn't too hard. But the machine gun hit and the machine gun missed. Javelin misses with its SRM6s. Wasp missed with SRM2. But our noob in the Wolverine manages to land her SRM6s, punches a hole on his motive system, does minor damage, but unfortunately he took a little too much damage on his left side. She actually manages to punch through armor and destroy it, which will destroy the whole vehicle and make it worth less, but you know what? Whatever. That's not too bad. I'm okay with that. Now, next should be turn 6, and I think that's when the enemy is going to deploy. Oh shit, this guy woke up. He's going to start fucking about again, and they'll see if he can fall on his head even harder. But the enemy should be deploying their reinforcements. One's going to come in, then we have to move the Crusader, then 3 more are going to come in, and we get to move everyone else. So they are deploying their lighter stuff now. Yep, scorpions, scimitars. The scimitar I'm still scared of. That's still an AC-20. I don't want to fuck with AC-20s. AC-20s hurt. Take a look at that Firestarter. He fucked about with an AC-20, and now that's his mech on AC-20. And also on drugs. That pilot clearly needs to be screened. Pardon me. So, we don't have jump jets on this mech, sadly, so we're not going to be able to make that river crossing easy. So because of that, unfortunately, our Lance Leader is going to have to make a detour around here to try to get this easy crossing to come all the way around. She's got LRM-15s that she'll be able to use in the meantime, but that's going to be a really long detour while this Javelin is like, ho-ho, jump jet up, get into the middle of these AC-20s. Delicious. Not a fan of that, but there's not anything I can do about it, so let's just start our long marathon to victory. Well, so that was all the enemy movement. I'm a little pissed at these Pegasi and Scimitar for doing this for one odd reason. They're currently over water. If a hover vehicle is knocked out over water, it falls into the depths and is lost. Although I can't remember if that actually fully destroys them. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm worrying about nothing. But in any case, so for this Dervish, we actually do have jump jets, but there's no reason to use them yet. We can get into this little corner over here. Now, we've still got that AC-20 to worry about, so let's worry about that real quick. 1, 2, 3, is going to be at medium range. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be his. That's going to be the edge of his medium range. If we instead, well, unfortunately, we can't move their enemy or friendly javelins on it. But if we instead move here, we won't be in good range for our weapons. We'll also be at long range for ours. But I'll take my long range and trade him his long range because I've got LRM-10s at sweet spot. So we're going to use this to knock out that scimitar. If we can. We'll try our damnedest. I trust Genie. Oh, please! At least I've still got my backup. Wilfred bin Raid, please. You are a champion. Just sit there and slowly blend yourself to death. With a focus on slowly. Yes, do it dulcimo. Do it slowly. That's a True Lies reference. I don't know if anyone else is going to get that. I love you all know this, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is the greatest actor of all time. Our noob has jump jets, and unfortunately with her current position, may as well just use them in order to get set up into position to use her jump jets better on the next turn. So we've got our ace back in the hole. He literally managed to fall on his head and black out. What a champion. I wonder if the Lyrans are going to send me a complaint because their pilot is scrambled like an egg. They're going to bring him back and he's going to be like, oh, what is the buttons for the mech? And we're going to be like, well, that's exactly how he was during the mission. You can't blame that on us. That's how he came. You know, I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I had these guys dead on. What was I seeing? I need to. Oh wait, no. This is the Crusader. Duh. This is a Crusader. So let's see here. The Pegasus moved 3 or moved 7 for 3. The Scimitar moved 5 for 2. Neither of those are great shots, sadly. We're not going to hit with the medium laser. The LRM-15 is the only thing that could potentially hit. We've got a better shot with just kind of pecking at this Scorpion. So let's just fire one of those. Once again, try to build up our heat for next turn. Or knock down our heat for next turn. But over here, we've got LRM 10 shots. And if I remember correctly, the Scimitar was the one that moved less, and I'm scared of it. Yeah, let's take those 8s and see if we can't turn it into a dead fucking mech, or a dead fucking vehicle. Probably not the SRM2 though. It's just not, it's too unlikely. Over here, I don't think we're going to be within range, because I'd really prefer not to be within range regardless. Oh, we are in range, but not with any kind of accuracy. So if this guy's got the same rough accuracy we do, he's not going to be able to hit shit. Yeah, he's got a 4. He can't hit me. Well, I did not move as much as him, so he could get me on a 12, but hopefully he's picked someone else. Over here, your large laser, does it have even a snowball's chance? No, I'm afraid that you have nothing to do. But what do we got? What do we got? Okay. Scorpion tank fired at my Wasp. What a bastard, but he had a hard roll and missed. Our Crusader had a hard roll on that LRM-15 and missed. Scimitar, AC-5? I'm thinking of the Saladin. Saladin. Oh, well, never mind then. It just had an AC-5, popped it at our unconscious fire starter, and still managed to miss. What a fuckwit. Pegasus whiffed with all of its stuff at our Wasp. Why are they all picking on my Wasp? I guess when they all have shit rolls, they're going to just pick the thing that's got the least armor. Our LRM-10 does manage to hit the left side and mobilize that Scimitar and send it into a watery grave, but, you know, fuck it. Either we can recover it or we can't. Who knows? I mean, it was immobilized anyway. This just means that the same result, except the crew also drowned. I mean, what's wrong with that? And our Javelin ally fired on a Scorpion light tank and missed. Lots of bad shots this turn. Well, lots of hard shots this turn. Not surprised none of them hit. Ooh, good. And they're all on initiative. They all have to go first. That's going to be ideal. Let's see how they respond to that news. Well, the Pegasus still wants a watery grave because it just kind of scooted a little bit. Now, hopefully, our friend here in the Javelin realizes that these guys all have turrets. Turrets, not front mounts, turrets. Well, actually, maybe the Pegasus doesn't. What's the weapon? No, those are on turrets. Turrets. You cannot escape them. They cannot be negotiated with. Do not fly behind them. Getting them on their rear armor is not worth taking 4 SRM6s and an AC5 to the face. Hopefully he figures that out, because we still get to deliver this scrambled pilot back, and I'd love to be able to say he's at 4. If he kills himself jumping up and down, do they care? Do they care about the pilot or just the mech? Or are they okay that this, the short bus mech warrior manages to... That's mildly offensive, but I just do want to get across. This guy does not impress me with his piloting skill. That said, what do we want to do with this Wolverine? I guess I want to jump it into a position where it's going to get closer to the board edge we need to sit on, or to the enemy. So we'll do that. Dervish, can you jump in? Yeah, you can jump just over here. That's going to put you at the short range for the Scorpion's SRMs, but at this point, I kind of want to do that. Actually, no, I do not want to do that at all with you. So, I don't want this Javelin to blow up. I don't want him to be targeted, but at the same time, this Dervish is very vulnerable to through armor criticals popping one of its 4 ammo bins. So we're going to play it a bit more safe with that until we've thinned these guys out a bit more. And is there a chance in hell you could walk over there? No, no chance in hell. I guess instead, just kind of walk this way. That doesn't get you much further, though. It's still moving only 3 hexes. Or, yeah, it's only 2 hexes moved. Can you jump, like, right here? If you jump in the water, is that a problem? That would put you outside their medium range. 1, 2, 3, would it? Oh, wait, maybe not. Hang on. This one, this one, this one. Yeah, that would put you outside their short range. So that's at least a little safer. And then you can just walk up on here next turn. Depth 1, level -1. Maybe you can't, but you can definitely jump jet up there next turn. Quick check. Okay, right. Down here, they can't even see you. I'm going to take that. I'm going to kind of hide down here, and then on a following turn, I'll jump jet up to start kicking ass. Needs a 3 to enter depth 1 water on a jump jet. I think she can do that. I'm gonna bet on her being able to do that. Good work. Good work. The Wasp, I kind of want you to just keep trucking as quickly as you can. You're not going to get good shots on anyone until we can close in much more on the enemy. Over here, you are just going to be a pain in my fanny no matter what. Can you get your LRM-15s on a good target? You could if you entered the water, but looks like you're not going to be able to do that. Can you just turn right here and do it? Yeah, you can get your LRM-15s right onto that other hover tank that's got SRM-6s that I hate. Either that, or you can target this Javelin that has SRM-6s that I hate. And the Javelin is going to be much closer to my Wolverines. And that way I get to make sure that I'm pretty sure Watery Grave isn't going to remove it entirely. Yeah. So instead, we'll throw it on the Pegasus. That means that we can at least try to remove it with some crit procking. Over here, we've got a large laser that has no chance to hit, and no chance to hit, so you have no chance to hit. That's really simple fucking math. God, I need to get some experience on you, but how can I get you experience when you can't hit shit? I just don't know. You're hiding. You're running. Actually, will you be able to target someone with a medium? No, no chance. Oh God, Javelin! I just noticed that you're there. Although, at the very least, that means that one of those pairs of SRM6s can't target you. So good job, buddy. Good job, friend. Unfortunately, this guy's dipped low beneath this cover, so I can't see him. But hey, at least I've still got these LRM-15s on this Scorpion. Scorpion, 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 Scorpion. Dodge these missiles. Here we go. Scorpion light tank fires at the Javelin and manages to hit it with its AC-5. That's 6 damage on its leg, and that's 6 damage more than I like. But Pegasus Scout Tank, the big threat to it, although it hits with its medium laser and strips off most of the armor on its left torso, misses with both of its SRM6s despite needing a simple shot on it. It was so damn surprised. It could not believe anyone would be so stupid. Checkmate. Scorpion Light Tank actually took shots on my Wolverine and needed hard rolls and missed. Friendly Javelins showing off that, look, my move was the best. Look at this. I've immobilized this vehicle. Well, you did do that, champ. Good work. Good work. That was yours. Oh, that does remind me. I need to mark down a couple things that allies are currently responsible for 3 vehicles, surprisingly. They knocked out a Bulldog. Did they? Hang on, there were 3 Bulldogs. I knocked out all the Bulldogs. They knocked out the Hetzer with that suicide run, and now they've knocked out this Javelin. I got excited and lost track of who's killed what. I'll figure it out. Fortunately, it looks like the Lance Leader did manage to get some good hits on that Scorpion light tank. Popped it in the side, made it harder for it to drive, popped it in the side, made it harder for it to drive, and it's got a penalty to its movement. No crits that destroy its, that knock it out of the sky yet, unfortunately, but we've weakened it up a little bit. Oh wait, right, we couldn't target the hover one, so no shots on it that have immobilized it yet, but we stripped some armor. It's a light tank, it's only got so much. Second shot didn't hit, but, can't get everything. And the Javelin kicks on the Scorpion, which I hope that that's the Scorpion that it didn't just disable. Yep. Stay down, Wilfred. It's nap time. It is serious nap time for you and your poor, busted, black and brown head. Or black and blue, or whatever color. Fucking purple at this point, the poor dented bastard. Let's see here. Crusader, Wolverine, then... so enemy reinforcements go, then that Pegasus Scout Tank goes, and then, yeah. So I can respond to that Scout Tank with my Dervish. Happy about that. That's going to be a good time. So, weird. It looks like that Scorpion tank moved, then ejected. Not quite sure what happened there. The Javelin decided it was the best idea in the world to run 5? How did you run 5? How did you run 5? You were like right there. This world is crazy. I don't know what's going on in it anymore. Over here, unfortunately, I'm afraid my best bet to keep closing on the enemy is going to be entering the water. That said, do I even need to? If I want to get medium range, yes. So, needs 3? Yeah, I bet you can do that. Good work. Good work. Didn't roll a 2. That's pretty much all you have to do, not roll 2s. Over here, let's jump this Wolverine into action. Get right on top of this Scorpion and introduce ourselves. Interestingly enough, the Pegasus kind of scooted a boot. So we are going to be slightly confused about why my jump jets are doing that. Is this like depth 2 water? No, it's depth 1. Shouldn't my jump jets take me up? I don't understand. Why are my jump jets having difficulty scaling this wall? I mean, I can just walk up this, right? Yeah. Oh, they're in my feet. Right, the jump jets can't work because they're actually underwater. Whoops. Huh. Forgot about that detail. Well, don't worry. We've got a backup. We can just walk up. It's gonna need some easy pilot checks. It's fine. It's fine. It's all okay. Over here, we're going to go enter the water so that we can get across. No, we're not. We're going to jump across. Who the fuck needs legs? Scorpion's abandoned. We uh, we took some pretty safe chances on uh, getting onto the water. Still can't see that Pegasus because he's hiding. We can't get shots on the Scorpion because the SRMs are underwater, but our LRM-5s are fine, and they've got excellent shots. We've got a little bit of extra. Oh, actually, I don't think we have extra sync because we don't have we don't have heat sinks in our legs. We have SRM-6s. That's such a weird design, but whatever, whatever. I'll take it. Not going to be medium laser isn't really worth shooting and taking the heat, so we'll just fire our two LRM-15s and try to crit proc this guy to death. Over here, this Wolverine also can't see this Pegasus, so best shots are probably going to be a pair of medium lasers and an SRM-6 and see if we get lucky. And my Dervish is going to do the twist and has some pretty good shots with her mediums for being at medium range. How's your LRM-10 looking? LRM-10 looks even better. So let me think about this. How's the SRM-2s? Just check this. You've got pretty good shots with everything. Dervish doesn't have a lot of heat soak, but we don't have a super huge amount of heat generation either. We've got 8 total from these SRM-6s, 6 total from the medium lasers. That's 14. 2 from each of the SRM-2s, 16. We soak 10 of that, plus the 1 from walking. So we come out at 7. 7 is penalty to shoot, penalty to move, but no shutdown chance, no damage. And if we get a nice, huge pile of damage on this Scorpion, we might be able to just take him straight the fuck out. So we're going to Alpha Strike this guy. Send some SRM-2s downrange, send some LRM-10s, or send some medium lasers downrange, send LRMs downrange, and send SRM-2s downrange. That's going to build me up to 9 heat. But at the end of that 9 heat, you can't see anything, and that's kind of by design, because I am actually sending you over to complete the objective. So let's see what we do. Scorpion Light Tank targets my Wolverine like I wanted her, The Wolverine takes 3 missiles to the chest, right torso, left arm, and right leg, but can take that kind of damage. Our friendly Javelin, practically my enemy because of these moves, peppers that Scorpion with a bunch of SRMs. Pop, 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 pop. But doesn't manage to destroy it. We actually score the kill with our Crusader. We didn't need that Alpha Strike, but whatever. We just wanted to make sure. So not only was this thing destroyed by damage, it was also, whew, lad, that is a lot of misses for being pretty on target. But whatever, I'm not frustrated by it because we already killed the thing. It was okay. No problems. We kind of cut it in half, in fact. Yep, you stay unconscious. That leaves us with 1 enemy vehicle on the ground, and unfortunately we have to move before it. I have no idea where it's going to move to, so best I can do is just kind of put eyes on it and hope that it can't, do anything too fancy. Over here with this Dervish, I can pretty much just do the same thing. Can I jump over there? Yeah, totally. Wasp is going over to the board edge and is going to start counting. Javelin is joining me over here. And let's see here. Depth 2, full up, and then that's -1. So instead I kind of need to go over here so that I can then go over here, then over here, then over here. So slosh through the water, you. Whoosh, whoosh. And that guy moved over there, which is pretty speedy movement, but not enough to get away from me. So let's just give that creep all the barrels we can. So there's a bunch of shots, and honestly, may as well take this. That's going to put me at 6 over, but it's not like I'm hitting targets anyway. At this point, I'm just relying on that 27% chance. Over here, we're going to be at some penalties because of the heat that we've built up, but we're still doing pretty well. I don't know if I would need to alpha strike like I did last time, especially because these LRM-10s, no chance of hitting. In fact, just doing medium SRM would be 10. That would put me, well, that would still put me 14 over because I've actually got more heat than I can soak right now. If I just do the SRM2s, that'll throw off some crit proc, and I can at least get down to 8 heat so that I am heat at least below 10 heat next turn. And over here, we're still at the board edge. Can't see him here, damn it, but, you know, what else is new? So what can we do? Our Wolverine actually manages to land 2 hits, stunning the crew and destroying a stabilizer on the turret, for whatever that's worth. Our Dervish actually gets some pretty impressive rolls with those SRM2s. Now, just between you and me, SRM2s, kind of really pathetic, dinky weapons. I'm not super a fan of them. They're just not heat efficient. I mean, an SRM6 can get potentially 6 missiles hit, and only builds up 4 heat. This SRM2 can, gets on average 1.5 missiles hit and builds up 2 heat. It's just not efficient. But, showing off that you can get some good work done with that, pops the guy all around, doesn't strip a lot of armor, but crit proc, but nothing crits. No actual crits are procced. So, enemy Pegasus is firing at my nub and gets a excellent set of SRM6 spreads. Fortunately, this is what the Wolverine can do. The Wolverine can take that kind of damage, but unfortunately my pilot can't. She flinches from the damage that she's taken, needed a 9, rolled an 8. She rolled pretty good, but she's just not that great a pilot. Falls over and embarrasses herself. She took some damage on rear torso, not a fan of that, but as long as she doesn't expose it, that's not a problem. She may just need to kind of lay there, though. She's not going to be a great pilot. Excellent. That Pegasus has to move first, and then we can respond to it. Okay, Fug. It's trying to get the back armor on my Wolverine, and I really don't like that. So what I need you to do is just as simple as getting up and then turning over here, and then probably just backing the fuck up. Just, don't let them see that don't let them see how they've affected you. So, you're gonna need an 8. The alternative is to let you lie there. Actually, the alternative might be if we don't try to get up, and instead I'm not going to eject, but I can just kind of turn you around, face directly at the guy, or even, can you crawl? I'm pretty sure you can crawl since you just fell down. Yeah, if you, well, actually that's going to be walking, so is there a, no. So tell you what, just turn in place, face him down. Don't bother trying to stand up because you'll fuck it up. I'm sorry, you just will. You do not know how to stand this mech up properly yet. I need to get you out of the Wolverine, but I can only put you in a heavier mech without potentially making you rebel, so. Turn around, face him directly. You're not getting up, are you? No? Good, good. Crusader's gonna come up. We'll be able to spot this asshole. and actually put some heat on him. Javelin can see him. Wasp, one turn sitting there. My Dervish... Actually, my Dervish, can you see him from right there? You totally can. Sit still. Don't build up any heat from walking, because you're already at high heat. You've just been coasting that heat meter. I am so sorry. Stick right there. You can take some pot shots at him. You prop up on your left arm and fire with your right arm. Fire with your... Why is your heat so high? Oh, right, because I fired the large laser. Fire with your... you can take all of those shots. Fire with your medium laser and fire with your SRM-6. That's only going to put you 3 over. You can see this asshole and say, hey, asshole. Your LRM-15s, they're just as good as your everything else. So instead, hit him with a bunch of shots with a pair of medium lasers and a pair of SRM-6s, and see if that doesn't stun the piss out of... Oh, he's stunned. He can't shoot anyway. I was worried about nothing. Fucking take him out. You down to 1. And over here, let's just stay heat neutral for a little bit this turn. Just fire an SRM-2, and then we'll be at heat 0, and we can start our lives over. Alrighty then. Fucking hell. Miss, not surprised. Miss, sorta surprised. Those were all 40% chances. Come on. Actually hits with the SRM-6. 4 missiles hits, but nothing procs any crits. However, Genie gets her wish. Her SRM-2, only 1 of the missiles hit, but it hits it right on the hover skirt, pops it there. Major damage, vehicle immobile, destroyed by a watery grave. Blah, blah, blah. Stay down, idiot. So, here's some good news. We have no more enemies on the board. We've counted. We will count at the end of this turn 2 turns, but nothing else is going to come up to challenge us, and the only clock we're working against is how quickly this guy can scramble himself. At this point, we are effectively / victory. Because I'm going to assume that at this point, he's just going to stay unconscious long enough for us to get back to him, forcibly eject him, and carry him back to whatever mental institution he crawled out of. So that's / victory. This is a scouting raid the way they should turn out. Well, apart from this guy. Look at him. Look at him and laugh. But what went right this time? Okay, we actually stuck together. I think that reviewing tape and on the last fight we did, I really made a bad decision in sending that mech off to do the scout on its own, because I knew that in 6 turns that reinforcements were coming. They were going to deploy on that board edge, and there was nothing that one mech was going to be able to do against all of those guys. In fact, even if I didn't ken it at first, because of not taking into account how long the mech would have to run, it was pretty obvious, 3 turns in, that was going to be an issue. But I got bogged down in that fight with that Lancelot, I think it was called. Focused on that too much, forgot that that's what I was doing, forgot that would be a problem, and then just got a light mech destroyed over it like an idiot. This time, I kept my forces together. We took realistic stock of the enemy and their strengths. I kept my light moving. I kept my heavy guys, the ones who can take damage, moving slowly. Still not great work from the Rook, but what can you expect from a Rook? It's a Rook. And overall managed to leverage fire in a way that took out the enemies with a minimum of fuss, except for my allies being an idiot, but what can you do? And thus managed to sweep the field of all contact and take home the win. Now, one other definite better thing, we actually have some mechs that can tangle with stuff this time. We have the Crusader, we have the Dervish. We didn't have these things back in our last one. We just had a bunch of Wolverines that were and a Shadowhawk that were trying to take on an assault mech. These things we well overtonned last time we were overtonned. So there's an element of that as well. We did get a bit lucky with the rolls on this one. Don't completely discount that. But we also took things a lot safer, measured our moves more carefully, escorted everyone, didn't leave anyone out to dry except for this idiot. So, uh, I'll go ahead, get the salvage done from this one because we did wipe 50% or more of the enemy. So all of this belongs to us, by which I mean a fair amount of it's just going to get handed straight over to Steiner so that they tick down and stop complaining about how much loot we're taking. And from there, we will continue on with the campaign. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.